Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I'm your host, James Dillard. With me, as always, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. It's called a winning streak. 2 in a row, baby.
It is. It's called a winning streak. Well, we have a special breast cancer. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about on the show tonight. We had another great slate of college football. The Tigers bring home another win from Boston, like Bailey said. And it'll be next Saturday's game at the game where it will be Breast Cancer Awareness Day in the Valley. And I may or may not have time to get to my rant. I don't know if that's been a good thing. I hadn't had time to get there or not, but we're going to keep trying. It's still in the script. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of Greenville Sports Media Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, Greenville Sports Media is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts, the latest articles, and other sports media at greenvillesportsmedia.com. who can also be found on all forms of social media, just like the Fun Fans. The Fun Fans Podcast is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
And Reuben's is the official place to get your wings here in the upstate. ReubensC.com. I think it's 11028 Anderson Road in Piedmont and 1083 Batesville Road in Greer. I'm working scriptless tonight due to some technical difficulties, but I remember that. So check out Reuben's. It's a great place to eat for all sports fans.
You got that down pat, Bailey. You don't need a script for that.
Nope.
And we're going to talk about the plans for food this weekend, and it's going to either include a little bit of Reuben's or a lot of Reuben's for me. So we'll get to that in a minute. But okay, we always talk about what we did. It's the Fun Fans Podcast. How did we enjoy the college football? And I'm not going to lie. As much as I love going to Clemson and tailgating, I'm starting to kind of like this sitting around the house and setting up 2 TVs and watching, probably a total of 12 or 16 different college football games in a day and grilling out in my backyard. And that's getting kind of nice. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I did some, I played golf, and then I did some stuff around the house and outside. And then I had 3 screens set up.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep. And woke back up and watched everything after half, late night.
Yeah. Well, I usually can run some errands and whatnot and pick up the end of the 12 o'clock games. And then you've got every game from that point on. So we had steaks again. I don't have any pictures, but it's been pretty much the same as it's been all the other away games for Clemson or the open date, with just eating too much at the house instead of eating too much at the tailgate and enjoying the football.
I made some outstanding quesadillas.
Okay,
outstanding.
I bet you do make it on the Blackstone.
No, I didn't use the Blackstone. I did it up in the kitchen. I didn't feel like getting all that going. I was tired.
Heard that. All right, so the Tigers did bring home a victory, Baylor. What did you think about that game?
I think that's how you ought to beat Boston College.
Bam.
But I will say that I like the play calling. The creativity is once again back, and I don't know why we don't do that all the time. Meaning, early in the season, no matter who we're playing, let's throw some curveballs at them.
Yeah.
And I think and I told my son this last night, I think it's pretty obvious how important Antonio Williams is to the Tigers offense. And he was not there in those games where everybody's ready to fire everybody and bench everybody. But Antonio Williams makes a huge difference.
He was out a good month or so.
Yeah, he got hurt in the first quarter, the first series of the first game.
Yeah. He came back against Syracuse, but he didn't look 100%. No. It looked like he probably hadn't practiced with him in about a month.
Now. He's back.
Yeah. He's thrown a touchdown, and he's running end arounds and everything.
Wildcat quarterback last night.
Yeah. But that's definitely the way to get it done. I mean, there were some hiccups, obviously, but like you always say, the other team has, they're lining up 11 scholarship Division I athlete players, and they got an NFL coach. So honestly, a little nervous with it seemed like it was going to be some back and forth with the scoring, but our defense figured something out, whatever it was, and they got their 10 points. They 10, whether it's first quarter and a half, and that was it.
Yep.
That was it. Shut them down the rest of the game. So, like
as
you said,
my uncle used to say, "Good night, Irene." Game's over.
Yep. So, very proud of the Tigers' trip to Boston. Okay, some other games we can discuss real quick. Pittsburgh over Florida State.
Florida State has lost 8 consecutive ACC games.
And you hate to laugh, but I'm sorry, Seminole fans, but they were, and this is a fan base thing, really the players too, that love Bobby Bowden, historic, big time coach. And he was a good guy, but he let his players have fun, and they didn't mind taunting people, and the fans didn't mind taunting people. And maybe this is a little bit of what goes around comes around or something. I don't know, but
well,
bless
Tom
their hearts.
Luginbill at halftime of the Clemson game. So he was on the ACC. He lives over in Weddington. He's on local radio too, but he's big time, analyst and does all this stuff with recruiting. And he was on the ACC network. And he said, you know what? Maybe it's because they have a brand new team every single year. And when there's a little bit of adversity, who are they playing for? They're not playing for the school, because obviously that doesn't matter.
Correct.
So,
and
they don't look good.
They've already got their money. So, so I have in the script here, and this was before the news broke about Penn State and Oregon State. But I have a question about Norvell being on the hot seat. I mean, how can he not be on the hot seat? They won 2 games last year. They're on pace to maybe win 3 or 4 this year, the way it's going. They beat Alabama. But now that's looking like a fluke from the beginning of the season. How is he not on the hot seat? Or is he on the hot seat?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He probably is. You think the boosters that give hundreds of thousands of dollars every year aren't making calls going, what are we doing?
Yeah, I can't help but think he fired his coordinators and that kind of thing last year. And if that buys him another year, maybe. But if something don't turn around, he's got that undefeated season, but they ACC championship or whatever happened, and that's it. He don't have a tradition of big time wins and championships at Florida State under his belt that can ride him through seasons like this. So, I can't help but think that he's in trouble. But moving on, Bama over Missouri. Oh, that was a good game too, by the way. Pitt, these were good games.
Oh yeah.
Pitt played well. That freshman quarterback showed out.
A little bit of a gunslinger.
Yeah, they look pretty good. All right,
Where
so
will he
Bama
be
and Missouri
next year.
Yeah, probably not Pitt. It may be, but probably not. So what about, did you watch Alabama and Missouri?
I watched some of it. I didn't sit and watch TV until 4 o'clock, probably. Maybe a little bit after that.
Yeah, this was a noon game, so I was catching bits and pieces of the first half. I mean, honestly, Missouri didn't look like they could match up the first half, but they turned it on, flipped a switch, did whatever, and they were giving Alabama all they could handle in the second half, and it definitely came down to the wire. That was a good game, but Bama definitely looks like they're for real. Like I say, the thing with Florida State, I mean, I'll say it's a fluke. I don't care because ain't no skin off my back. But that was a good game. Notre Dame over NC State, Bailey, was on the Peacock network. Couldn't even find it on TV, and I went to ESPN and it was on the Peacock network. I'm like, I'm not flopping streaming services or whatever to get to check on the Notre Dame NC State game. Sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't. We have Peacock, but I wouldn't bother turning it over to watch that.
Yeah, was not doing that. And of course, Notre Dame's keep climbing up.
Don't worry, they'll be there.
Climbing up. The 2 losses. You got. I saw somebody post on X. Washington has 1 loss to Ohio State. They're 5-1. They're not even in the top 25. If the bias in the polls is unreal. one good thing about social media maybe is that they're kind of calling it out. We can only hope that when the committee gets together, they'll use a little more logic and common sense and not just rank whoever's big time. Speaking of big time, Texas over Oklahoma. Now that was a good game, especially if you're a Texas fan.
Yeah,
Did
I
you watch
watched a
that
little
one?
bit of that. It was boring at the beginning.
So, and not saying anything other people didn't say. My man came back. The quarterback from Oklahoma came back 17 days from hand surgery.
Right.
That had to be a factor. There, it was hard to tell just throughout the game or whatever, but that had to be a little bit of a factor. He definitely didn't look like had looked the first month of the season.
Well, I hope they're angry because they travel, I think, to Columbia this weekend.
They do. They will be in Columbia, South Carolina this Saturday. So Oklahoma looking to bounce back. And some people have Venables on the hot seat. Well, and they had such a crap season last year, but they had a ton of injuries. I don't know that. I mean, he hasn't been there long enough. They're doing really well. I don't see him being on the hot seat, but Arch Manning, I think he finally looked good. He finally looked like the 5-star quarterback that everybody's been waiting on him to look like. And going up against Venables' defense, to me, that was good for Arch. But Texas right back in the mix. Does that tell you anything about Florida, or was Texas just kind of slacking when they went to the swamp?
Back in the mix. I don't think Oklahoma's that good. I mean, honestly.
Well, I looked at the standings, kind of like the ACC, SEC, similar. Really, most teams only played 2 or 3 games.
Right.
So one loss, you're still right in the mix. It's kind of, what I meant by that. But we're halfway through the season, believe it or not. We're at the halfway point. So it's going to be a lot of conference games from here on out. But I don't know. I was kind of pulling for Oklahoma, so I hated to see that one. The big game, though, is Indiana and Oregon. Coach Signetti. No, Coach, what's the last name? Spaghetti.
Kurt Spagnetti or
Signetti.
He's a different dude.
He is. You are correct. But I thought that was a pretty good game, and honestly, I was surprised they beat Oregon. Really was. Oregon normally just outscores teams like that, but they just couldn't. Indiana's defense just had to answer enough for them.
Yeah, here's what you don't want to happen, and I'm going to predict this is going to happen.
All right.
You heard it here first. He just wins wherever he goes. I think it was James Madison.
Google it, he says.
Yeah, I mean, he does, actually.
Yeah.
And what you don't want, since Shane Beamer is one step closer to being the coach of Virginia Tech, is like South Carolina to hire him. Because South Carolina will have to go after a big timer.
Well, do you think he would leave Indiana and nothing against South Carolina now, for real, but
or Penn State, or
that would be, supposedly he's a West Virginia Pittsburgh guy, so he would stay away from Penn State, but most people think he's not going anywhere. I don't know, but I don't, getting to the coaching carousel, which is looking like it's going to be some other kind of carousel this year already. Whispers about Beamer going to Virginia Tech. James Franklin could end up at Virginia. James Franklin just became the #1 candidate for any of the jobs that were already open. They, I think in everybody's opinion, Penn State, they couldn't win the big game, whatever, but they're kind of up here. James Franklin's proven he can win up here. And the other schools where the jobs are open, they probably would consider themselves lucky to have Coach Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to take a step down to go back up. When you get removed in the middle of the season, we don't know what happened. I mean, they've lost 3 games in a row, but his quarterback's out for the season. I'm sure his buyout was enormous.
$49 million.
Yeah. You have to work, don't want to. I don't know why anybody would want to go coach in the SEC, because as I look at South Carolina's schedule, This year they've played the number 17 team, the number 10 team. They played the number 14 team. The week after that, they play the number 6 team. The week after that, they play the number 5 team. And the week after that, they play the number 4 team. Then they close the season with Clemson, who was ranked in the top 5 preseason. So,
yeah.
Why would you want to go do that to yourself?
Right. That's it is the SEC. Somebody put up next year's schedule at Penn State, and people, I don't want to hear nothing about ACC cupcakes. It's the Big Ten minus every team in the Big Ten that's any good. Oregon, Ohio State, any of them that's any good. So that would be whoever gets that job.
Well, you said them both.
That's about it. Penn State's normally the third one.
Right.
But anyway, that was Indiana, Oregon. I thought Indiana, I mean, it was kind of some smash mouth football. Texas A&M over Florida. Once again, we already talked about Florida a little bit. So they get up here and they do this and save Billy Napier's job maybe, but then they go beat by A&M, which A&M very well may be the best team in the country. They're 6-0, and they're right there in the rankings. But they're nobody's favorite. They're not pretty like Texas or Notre Dame or Ohio State, and they weren't in the playoffs last year. They're not getting any bonus points from previous seasons, so they're actually having to earn it. So they very well may be the best team in the country. Nobody's proven anything otherwise so far that's lined up against them. So I'm starting to kind of pull for A&M a little bit. Okay. The big controversy, Georgia Auburn. Did you see all this stuff?
No, I actually did not. That's one game I
didn't really see the game because it was happening during the Clemson, Boston College, and South Carolina game. So we only had 2 games going then. But later on, the replay, so the fumble at the goal line.
No, I did see that.
Auburn. Huge argument. Oh, he scored. No, it was a fumble. Blah, 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 whatever. And then the other thing where Kirby Smart's calling a timeout. I mean, he is clearly calling a timeout. Then he has some conversation about clapping. People thought he was trying to claim he was not calling a timeout, that he was clapping. We've since learned, and he has confirmed that he was just telling the referees that the defense is clapping and messing up their snap count or whatever.
Right.
But my question is still this. He clearly called timeout. They didn't charge Georgia a timeout. And since when can a coach run out there to the referees and say the team's doing something illegal and the referees punish the other team for the coach pointing out that they did that? Right. Well, that's unreal. That's unreal. I don't, no matter what side you're on there, I just think the refs that's not a good look for the refs in my opinion.
Well, how many times can they review something in the Clemson game? and I'm going to tell you, there's a reason the announcers, no offense, guys, there's a reason they're on the ACC network. They stink.
Yes.
They were stinky.
Yes. There was just like quiet, dead air.
Name your favorite color commentator in college football right now.
Oh, I like Matt Barry. Does he pronounce it Barry? Matt Barry.
He's not.
Does he do color? Does he do play-by-play?
He's play-by-play.
Oh,
the expert.
I like him. Which one? I don't know. I like.
See, I put you on the spot.
Herb Street. I like Kurt.
I'm gonna tell you the most knowledgeable one that I think is Louis Riddick.
He's good.
Yep.
I like EJ Manuel, and he's moved up.
He's moved on up into the studio on ESPN.
Yeah, he's out of the network.
Yeah,
he's into the ESPN stuff now. But
like George Jefferson, moving on up.
Yeah, but yeah. So I know we don't get on to referees, but I mean, it's just at what point are the referees going to be better? I don't know. Just kind of across the board. I just don't get it. I don't get it. One thing, and I'm not saying they messed up, but you remember you and I have been teaching long enough. Before parent portal, after parent portal. Okay. You could call a parent and talk to them about their kid's grade But and that's what they knew about the kid's grade, or they get the report card. That's
Right.
what they knew. Kid would take a test home with a grade on it, whatever. That's what they knew about the kid's grade. The parent portal comes out. As soon as you put stuff in the grade book, bam, they can see, and they see something averages with something or whatever, and they're freaking out or whatever, or they think things are fine, but they're not, whatever. I think that's kind of what's happened with replay. It's like replay has made the officiating worse, or let me take that back. It's made our criticism, the fan criticism of the referees, much worse, at a much higher level. So we're like the parents on parent portal. If they don't review it, we don't like it. If they review it too much, we don't like it. But I mean, you're sitting there as a fan, you're like, can y'all not get it right? It's right there on camera.
Right.
But anyway, that's for another show.
These are my favorite words that I hear from the officials in college football. It's a 30-second timeout.
Yeah.
Because the college, now I went to a pro game last Sunday, Panthers game.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's the TV timeout. And they have a few more of them, but they don't seem nearly as excruciating because they're not 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hey, some of them are 4, aren't they, in college? Don't
it's
the little
ridiculous.
guy with
yeah, it's mostly 3:30.
Yeah.
3 minutes and 30 seconds. But hey, they got a little timeout timer at Bank of America. I'll say, 2 minutes, no problem.
Wow.
But when they go, Clemson second timeout of half, 30-second timeout.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Not quite the last game. Ole Miss over Washington State. We got it. This would lead into my rant, but it already looks like we're not going to have time. Did you see any of that game?
No.
Washington State, Bailey, the Cougars, out of the Pac, what used to be the Pac-12,
Pac-2,
and now it's the Pac-2. It's 2-Pac. Washington State had the highest ranked SEC team in the country, undefeated, Ole Miss, on the ropes. I mean, Ole Miss stepped it up and won the game, obviously, 3 points, whatever. Kudos to them. But if Ole Miss is number 5, Washington, I could play that game. We can play the hypotheticals. If Ole Miss is number 5, then Washington State should be number 6. They're 3-3 or something. They're the same record as Clemson.
Again,
had them on the ropes.
Division One football players.
Once again, yeah. So my rant goes to the thing about the SEC, Mr. All That in a Bowl of Grits. One of your top teams should not have been fighting off the ropes with Washington State in the fourth quarter. If y'all are all that in a bowl of grits, sorry,
well,
not sorry.
It's like we've talked about before. It's human nature. They just beat LSU. First time they've beat LSU in however long, whatever. And then it's only natural you have Washington State coming in, non-conference, a little bit of a letdown. But I don't disagree with you.
So, all right. Wrapping up real quick. UCLA won again, so they're on a streak, as you said. So that's good for them. And Penn State messed around and lost, so that's in the script. Lost to Northwestern by a point, but their quarterback got hurt, and now the coach got fired. Real quick about the coach and carousel and all. And you mentioned him getting fired in the middle of the season. That used to be a black eye for sure. Is it really the same as it used to be, though? The landscape in college football has definitely changed. Is that just not a different strategy for the school to go ahead and get rid of the coach and position themselves?
I mean, they're going to – they could have – well, see, it's after the portal window, right? You can't say you're quitting and going into the portal. There's a window or something. I would have to look that up to be certain. But there's going to be players leave that were his guys, I'm assuming.
Right.
And he probably could go interview for another job and say, hey, I'll tell you what, if I get this job, I got 23 kids from Penn State coming straight here.
Yeah.
Which at Virginia Tech, that would be awesome.
Awesome.
So
that's I think what has passed is the red shirt, if they wanted to claim a red shirt for this year. But yeah, as soon as this season is over, that whole team could enter the portal and he could take them wherever he goes for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And and the $49 million check. Bam.
That's after they opt out of the bowl game.
They opt out of the bowl game, and they all end up at Oklahoma State. Anyway, you never know. All right, last game. Our friends in Columbia, speaking of LSU, they dropped a close one. I'm not going to lie. It literally looked a lot like our game against LSU. I'm sitting here thinking these are two really good football teams going at it, and they came up on the short end. And, yeah, we know how that feels. So, I don't know but LSU is still number 10. I don't know about all that.
I hate Clemson was not healthy and didn't play like they were capable of for the first part of the season.
I really believe the whole season be different. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, I mean we should be like 5-1 or 6-0.
We would be I think if we would have beat LSU, and I know ifs and buts and candies and nuts and stuff, but
that was a very day.
Yeah, that was a very winnable game for us. And if we win that game, we just ride that wave. We're rolling. There's a lot of emotion that goes into these college, like you say, they're kids still. So,
yeah.
All right, moving on. Definitely don't have time for my rant. I got a little taste of it in there then, but just a little bit. All right. Next week, the Tigers are back at home against SMU. It's a rematch of the ACC championship game from last year. 3:30 kickoff. We don't care what network it's on. We don't care if it's on the ACC network. The 3:30 time slot is the perfect tailgating time slot, right?
Yes, and 3:30 is also the length of the television timeouts.
The Fun Fans have a lake house for the weekend. We've done that once this season, so we're doing it again. That'll be fun. Looking forward to more our kids over there and maybe spend some more time over there than just at the game. But more importantly, this weekend is the breast cancer awareness game at SMU. And obviously this hits close to home for a lot of people. My wife she just had surgery last week to remove what was left after doing 20 weeks of chemo. So she's recovering for that. And we're looking for this. I bought this flag for the tailgate. I had it designed and made, and it's awesome. And it's got to be somewhere in my garage, but hopefully I can find it.
Well, it's not in mine.
It's not in your garage, and it's not in any of our cars. I just got to dig around in my garage a little bit more. But just real quick, we want to give a couple of ways that if you're looking, and if you don't already know this, maybe you do, but obviously there's tons of ways to help with cancer awareness and cancer research. Obviously, you can go to the American Cancer Association, but a little more close to home for us, Dabo has an all-in team foundation for breast cancer awareness, and is his wife and sister-in-law or both that have battled breast cancer. It's one or the other or both. So definitely close to his family as well. And something called the Comfort Calls. Go look that up. Candace Heatherly, a former Fun Fans podcast guest, also breast cancer survivor. And then she started her own, organization where you can request for her to put together a comfort basket for someone that has been diagnosed with cancer. She sent one to Melanie earlier in her process. And then I've requested, she sent one, at my request to another person we found out. And that kind of stuff just really helps. So if you've never been through that, I hope if you're listening, hope you never do. But if you have, you understand that every little thing makes a big difference. So looking forward to the game Saturday, win or lose, and hopefully that'll raise some awareness and get the women to go check out. Don't be missing the mammograms and stuff, right?
Very important.
Yeah. All right. The other important piece is the tailgating. Do we have our plans? What are we doing? What are we eating? What's on the menu? Any requests?
It truly is whatever you would like to get, James. Whatever we need.
Really? So this is what I'm thinking. I'm driving over there Friday night, right, to the lake house. I'm going to go right past the Rubens Powdersville.
Mm-hmm.
Could get a big old pan of chicken wings and tenders to heat up the next morning. I think that'll be right when we're parked at like 11 or 12 o'clock in lot 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that'll be good. That's what we're looking forward to. All right, that'll be awesome. And looks like we're out of time, but we had a great show. Hope you enjoyed the show. Due to the trip next week, we are very likely to take next Sunday off, but we'll put something on the air next Sunday. But we will definitely be back soon. Pick the cancer organization of your choice to support, and we will see you in Clemson next week. Thanks again for checking us out. Don't forget to click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media, and please share. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, Jay Thrilla Entertainment, Greenville Sports Media, and Bailey Jackson.
James Franklin, if you need some help spending that $49 million, give me a call.
Yeah, we're just a phone call away, James Franklin, right? The people don't know Bailey. That's is that your real first name or your middle name?
I have a very presidential name.
Franklin. Yeah, Franklin Bailey Jackson. So yeah, I mean, he should, which I'll buy him some wings, and he can just,
tailgate with us next week. Call us up.
Yeah,
reach out.
Yeah, we'll be happy to hang out with old Coach Franklin. All right, thanks for listening.